Hello and welcome back to Monster War Gaming. It's Mike here. We're going to have another quick game of Risk. Now I thought today we'd have a standard game again, like we did the other day, with a bit of a difference. We've been talking about the difference that these things can make, or the different settings, and manual placement I think I think it sometimes can make the game quite a bit easier, because you can hone and stick all of your troops in a very solid starting position. You could even take an entire territory and then look at moving on from there. So you've already got a solid base to move from, which could protect you against other incoming fire. So I think what I'm going to do is jump into a little game here, see if I can show you exactly how it works, and see if I can create a nice solid base from which to work on. Now, I quite often like to either have South America, Africa, or Australia. Now, Australia is a great one because there is one in, and you can't go anywhere else. There's only one way in, one way out. So you've already got a very solid place to defend from. You're going to be generating extra troops from a full segment there. You only need 4 locations. So I think I'm now going to also go for Africa. There's still a reasonable amount of it free. So, I've got, there we go, I've got 4 out of the 6 in Africa. So in theory, a couple of quick lightning fast moves, and I'm going to be pushing on quite strongly. I'm going to go for South America here. It's quite near. I can push then up through and take the whole, so long as I manage to keep this, but it also then links me across to Africa, giving me a bit more of a chance to build this South America as a defense for my Africa position. This next bit's going to be a bit annoying because you end up then having to place troops all over the shop, potentially quite separated from any actual support. But this one up here in Europe's got nothing. That one's going to fall pretty quickly. So let's why is this not full screen? Never mind. I can't quite see exactly what. There we go. 19 troops to deploy. So I think the sensible thing's going to be to go down for in Australia here, so I can slap up into the island there, jump across to defend then when I come to arrange myself at the end of that turn. Their blue team is really determined to keep that spot, which is really going to push me quite far. I'm going to go for one more, maybe see if they put anything else in there, but now I really need to start looking at Africa, building a solid base. I want to be looking at this bottom territory because greens are their turns after mine, so I'm going to want to push in there and then try and take Eastern Africa. That will give me a really solid grip on the whole territory. Now I am going to have to also look at putting a bit of defence in at the north here, to stop anyone dropping down from above. There's nothing I can totally do to prevent it, especially with such a thinly spread section of troops, but I think 4 is too much there to be pushing with such limited numbers, so I think I'm going to have quite a strong setup in South Africa, and then potentially looking at sacrificing these ones in the Americas depending on how well basically the Greens play it. I think the Greens are going to be the strongest push in there because they could tie up all of South America and they'd be looking at their North American territories. So we've got quite a precarious position, shall we say. And there we go. Right, 3 more troops to chuck around. I'm going to put another one here, and that should be enough. That should be enough there. What's that? 7 to go across with 10. Let's put another one in here as well, and then one into Northwest Africa. So let's start the attack. Let's try and take Africa. Start. It's a bit of a loss, but I've still got 8 to move across. Oof, that was brutal. Did not expect to take quite so many casualties there. And those were some very bloody battles. I lost quite a lot of troops there. Obviously I'm going to end the attack phase there. Shift these ones across to the coast of Australia, and then hopefully not get too battered when it comes to the ongoing attack. I reckon I'll lose some of my position in Africa, but nothing. Excellent, look at that. See, that just goes to show how such a standard tactic of having a solid setup in one continent, if not another, can really sort of set you off on a really good spot for the remainder of the game. I mean, I'm not going to have to do too much more to Australia to keep it on, and then it's going to have to be a case of defending Africa successfully and then pushing in through South America, because I think that's going to be the key. I don't like to try and take Asia too quickly, because there's such an amount of different territories there. There's really, you're exposed on so many sides. I always find that it's one of the ones to take at the last. I guess as more of a challenging game, which I'll play later on, that would be an interesting one to try and start in that area, so that you're facing as much as you really can. I'm just going to shore up the north of Africa. They're looking a little bit menacing there, but I do want to, I'm going to solidify there again, but I am going to put quite a lot into Argentina here. Now that can be two ways. I can push out from this position here, have a little pop into Peru. That's not done too badly, but I don't want to push it too far there. He says I'm going to go aggressive, and I'm going to end the attack phase there, because they can only go from one position, and I'll have 3 in that spot. Now if I push there, if I didn't win it, that would be terrible. If I did win it, I'm still only going to be left with 2 in Venezuela, which would be quite a precarious position to be in, without weakening the defence in North Africa here. You know, it wouldn't, I don't think that it's going to go well. I reckon they're going to stick a bunch in South America there. No, let's end the attack phase. I'm going to take, and no, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to move it around. Get some good cards. Right, let's spin through the AI. Didn't do anything in Africa, in South America. I could have really slapped some troops in there and made a really strong position. Yellow was pushed further down into Asia. They're getting a really good grip on that, which puts blue in a really bad position. They're really looking like they're in trouble, quite a bit of trouble. I'm gonna reinforce Africa again, just a little bit. I don't want to overwhelm it when I need to have these troops for over here. And let's do this. Finish off my move in South America. Now I've got hold of South America now, and now I could push into here, but I'm not going to have enough troops to keep running too far into North America, which, when you've got 2 positions that can attack you there, you're spreading yourself that little bit thinner. I've got to leave a 1 troop behind there, so I'm just going to take that as my attack move for this turn, and then go from there. It gives me the card that I needed, and then pushes on so we can see what happens. I think the greens are gonna do okay, but the blues are in trouble. Blues aren't as much in trouble as I was expecting. Now let's trade in those cards, get an extra 12 troops, which is gonna be very handy. 2 bonus troops in East Africa, East and Australia, so that can push in, help the reinforcement there, to keep the yellows at bay. So we've got 21 troops to deploy. So again, it's going to be reinforcing North Africa, as you've seen me do so far already, just to keep hold of that. There's kind of threatening looking coming from the yellows. I'm going to chuck a few more in there, make it really, just put them off as much as possible. Make it look like, no, this is not an attractive prospect to attack. Which still leaves me with 12 troops to chuck all into Venezuela and then push north into North America. So let's get the dice rolling. Hopefully we don't use too many troops as we push up this way. We're barely losing anything. I'm going to split it pretty much down the line. You know, it gives a solid bulwark then against this group here. Now I don't want to be too offensive against the Greens here, just in case they lose a lot of territory in Europe, because they've got 3 cards. If they can't trade those in, they've got one in Eastern Asia. I'm gonna leave it there. I don't want to push too far forwards. If I push on there, they could reinforce and drop down. It's going to be a big ask to take all of North America right now anyway, so let's end the phase there, reinforce across, and see what the opponents do. There we go. Okay, so Greens turned in their cards, so they've not done a great deal in North America. I think there's been a little bit of a shift around in Central Europe, and they've still got Japan over here, which is looking a pretty solid place for them to be honest. I think Africa's pretty sewn up. Top of Australia is sewn up, so I think it's just back to pushing through into North America and seeing if we can take a clean sweep here. Now I'm just going to put a couple into here. 2 I think should be enough. Push up through there into Alaska there, and then chuck pretty much everything else. No, you can have it all. Right, let's push it on, Alberta. Thank you very much. Northwest Territories. Thank you again. And Alaska. Done and dusted. Nope, we're not going to attack there. Thank you very much. You can suggest that all you like. Pushing through, let's take Quebec. And across into Greenland. There we go, that is all of that taken. Now, do we push? That's a big number. I'm gonna hold fire there. They can only come at me one way. They'd have to really look at reinforcing that section, but I think they're going to go Central Europe, which would be more threatening for everyone else. They could always drop down south, take one of these territories, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's just slow it down. Let's see where they actually place these. Oh, they've gone straight for me, but it actually doesn't mean. Look, the Blues took it. The Blues are suddenly looking a lot stronger. Greens have too. I thought the Yellows would take the Japanese territory there. Yellows have reinforced quite strongly up there. So I'm going to put a couple more in. Just make it look as threatening as possible. And I think it might be time to go for a bit of a storm through Europe. And I think I'm just gonna chuck it all in, go all in. Now my biggest problem here is that I might well choose the wrong path through. So I'm going Iceland, just lose 2, nice and straightforward. I guess if I come down through, I can take that all and secure that with only, there's 3 edges to it, but everything, go in, full everything. This is the biggest thing. Losing 5 is painful, but it's totally absorbable, you know. There's especially with the reinforcements that are available. Don't know what happened there. Let's go Scandinavia, take it out. I don't know why I've suddenly ended up with this animation. But it looks... really don't know what happened there. Now, dodgy grounds, going for the Urals or Afghanistan, but if I'm able to take one of them, it's gaining me those extra cards that they are holding there. I'm gonna go for the Urals. Don't know why I made that decision exactly, but Bennett the 9th, thank you very much for your cards. That's very much appreciated. Now, I could risk it for a chocolate biscuit to take Afghanistan, which... Wait, what? That correct actually. That... Really, how is this going quite so badly? 75% chance of winning. Well, that was trash. My gambit did not pay off, but it is looking really solid up here now. Now I'm going to use North Africa to reinforce the biggest province here. Full in. Got loads of cards. There's no way that I shouldn't be getting some extra troops next time. Right, where are you going, green? He's going to take my territory there. That would be the most sensible route. Okay, not the most sensible route. Now we've got to see if yellows wipe him out. That would be my move. Potentially. What? Not entirely sure why they did that. But that is bad news. They didn't attack like I was expecting them to. Extra couple in Alberta, brilliant. Right, so that there is very threatening. Let's chuck a few in there. They can go into Siam just to round it off. This is a really strong point here. I wish I could have been able to move them into that one, but I think it's just best to throw pretty much everything into here. Right, you can come out of there, out of that corner, take it all in. Right, East Africa, time to rampage. Look at that, absolutely smashing already. Right, let's use the Ukraine, see what they can do against Afghanistan. Nice, taking the province. Freeze up all of this troop movement from here. Throw everything across. Right, is there a sensible way that I can do this to take all of them at the same time? because this is, as I said before, where I'm most likely to fall. By the wayside, let's go Mongolia, I think. Now I can go Kamacha, Japan, Kamacha, Irkutsk, Yakutsk. What have I got there? 11. We could weaken it. I reckon we could. We took it. Brilliant. And now my plan has backfired on me. Right, let's take Yakutsk. It's down to you, boys. If we leave the minimum here. There we go. That's the way we like it. Send it all across into win. So I think that's proven my point there, that if you have that choice to pick where things are, you can quickly gather a territory, start getting the bonus from having that, start getting a really strong position to push from, even if it's only one that you hold as opposed to having 2, 3, 4 as you push through the game. It's better than being scattered across the board, having to try and link them all up and build from there. You've already got a very solid starting point from which to go. But there we go, so I'm going to finish there. Thank you much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care, stay safe.